Good morning to all. So today I am going to discuss chitin. Chitin is a polysaccharide. Okay. So this is a glucosamine. We have to replace the glucose with one of the hydroxyl group. Then we'll get this one. Okay. So we'll get this glucosamine. So this glucosamine. So what we have to do? We have to replace one of the hydrogen with this acetyl group. Okay. One of this acetyl group. So this is the acetic anhydride group. So if we shift this electron pair to this oxygen, it becomes a O minus, and this CO CH3 plus group will attack this NH, and this H will be removed as a minus CH3 COOH. Okay, we have to remove this group, means one of the hydrogen is removed, and in place of the hydrogen we have to replace this COCH3 group. Okay, COCH3 group, then we'll get this glucosamine group. Okay ma? Okay. So next one. So this is the first one. Next we have to combine. We have to means this is a polysaccharide. This is the monomer unit of this one. Okay. So this is the monomer of chitin. Monomer unit. Monomer. This is a monomer. So this is nothing but acetyl glucosamine. What it is? Acetyl glucosamine. Acetyl glucosamine means here we are replacing one of the hydrogen in this amine group, and we have to replace this acetyl group. So that's why it is called as acetyl glucosamine. So means here two or more, means here if you see this two or more units of these glucosamine molecules are combined and form a polysaccharide. Okay, so if you see next. We have to take molecules. Okay. NHAC, we can write it as AC group. Okay. So AC, acetyl group. So that's why we can write this one. Okay. So plus if you remove water molecule from this one, okay, we have to remove water molecules. Minus H2O, then first we will get the disaccharide compound. Okay, this is the disaccharide one. Here, what is the linkage here? This is the linkage 1 comma. Here, this is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is a linkage between 1 and 4, and these two are said to be beta linkage. So that's why it is called as 1 comma 4 beta linkage of N-acetyl glucosamine. N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay. So this is the N-acetyl glucosamine, because we are replacing one of the hydrogen in the amine. So that's why it is called as N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay. So this is next. What we have to do? We have to add one more unit of this one. Okay. Otherwise you can write. So this is the OH. This one is next. So this is the disaccharide unit. Next, if you add for this one, like we have to add monomers, means glucosamine molecules to that, you will get the polymer chain. This is the disaccharide. So if you add this one for this, so next you get NHAC molecule here O. Next, like that we have to combine each one. Okay, again it is NHAC here O. So we have to add like this number of units. If you have n number of units, then it is called as chitin. Okay, here OH, here OH, here OH. So this is a chitin mean. So you can add any means number of this one. Okay, so this is a chitin structure. It is a polysaccharide. So we can add a number of monomer units, that is nothing but N-acetyl glucosamine molecule. If you add the N-acetyl glucosamine molecules in any number, so then it is called as chitin. Okay, chitin. So let's see the Hayward form of this one. This is the conformational form. What it is? This is the conformational form. Conformational form. Conformational form. Let's see the Hayward form. Hayward form. Okay. So what is the Hayward form? Here, just we have to write this. Like that we can add any number. Okay. N number. This is NHAC. So this is OH. Here CH2 OH. This is the Hayward form of this one. Okay. This is the conformational form. So next one, starch. Okay, so this is about the chitin. Chitin is nothing but here N-acetyl glucose molecules. So number of N-acetyl glucose molecules are formed, are combined and form this chitin polymer. Okay, chitin polymer. Okay, we can write this. This is this one. So this is the Hayward form. Hayward form we can represent this one. Conformational form is this one. Okay, let's see the starch. starch. So we have to write like this for bonding. Here, if you see here, this is the first carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, here fifth carbon forms the glucopyridose. Here this is formed with, means here we are writing the polysaccharide units. Okay, polysaccharide units. Okay, so here what will be happen here? Okay, so next H is there, not this one, so it forms this one and it forms another one like this. Okay, like this H. So like that we have to write, means this is a n times. It forms a n times. It forms a n times. Then it is called as here. What is the linkage here? 1, 4 alpha linkage. This is nothing but starch. So starch. How it forms? Starch it forms from the alpha D glucopyranose. Alpha D glucosepyranose. If alpha D glucosepyranose is having n times, then it is called as starch. Okay, starch. So next, this is the Fischer projection form. Let's see the Haworth form. Haworth form of this one is nothing but, we have to write the glucose. Just we have to add the glucose units with the 1,4 linkage. That's it. Okay. Here it is having OH, this OH. Here alpha linkage. So that's why we have to write it at the bottom side. Okay. If it is beta linkage, we have to write at the upper side. Okay. So this is called as this one. So if it is having, means n times, then it is called as starch. Okay. OH here, OH here, oxygen is there, here OH. We can represent at any means if it is having n times, okay. So finally, so what is the molecule? All are glucose molecules only with 1,4 linkage. Okay, 1,4 linkage here. OH, OH, H, OH, H, OH. If you write this one, okay. So this is nothing but Hayward form of this starch. Okay, this is called as, okay, I will write here 1,4 linkage. What it is called? 1,4 alpha glucosidic linkage. Glucosidic linkage. Alpha glucose 1, this is first carbon, and this is the 1, 2, 3, 4th carbon. So like that here 1, 2, 3, 4. So means this is starting with first and another molecule with the fourth. So there is a 1,4 alpha linkage. If it is present in this mode, then it is called as alpha linkage. Let's see this conformational mode. Okay, conformational form. Conformational form. Okay. Let's see this conformational form. We have to write this. This is attached with this mode. Okay, with this mode. So that's why it is called as alpha linkage. Okay. So it is. We have to represent this one. Here OH is there, OH, CH2, OH. Okay. If it is having n times, next it is connected with this one. OH here, CH2, OH, OH, here OH. Okay. So this is about this conformational form of this starch. Okay. If you see here, there is a linkage between 1 to 4 linkage is there. So like that it continuous. It will be continuous. Okay. So this is the Hayward form, means if this unit is repeated in number of times, then it is called as this is a starch. Okay, so this is the Hayward form of this starch, and this is the conformational form of this starch. Okay, so next let's see the here glycogen structure, next one. So this is also similarly this one glycogen. Okay, glycogen. Only the difference is here. This is also alpha D glucose structures. Okay, alpha D glucose structures. Okay. Here 10 molecules are same structure, but if it is having n number of this alpha D glucopyranose, then it is called as this starch. Okay, if it is same, only the difference is if it is having 10 units. Okay, if it is having 10 units, means we can write this okay. If it is having like this 8 units, then it is called as glycogen. If it is having n number of, means more than 8, then it is called as starch. Okay, that is only the difference. Okay, ma'am. So starch contains n number of alpha 1,4 linkages. Okay, but here in glycogen it is having 8 number. Okay, 8 number of alpha 1,4 linkage, not 8 will be there. Okay, linkage units are there. Okay, so that is the difference between this glycogen and starch. Okay, glycogen and starch. So let's see this. Here Perrier-Hanessian rearrangement. Okay, Perrier-Hanessian rearrangement. Okay. So this is rearrangement is an organic reaction. This is an organic reaction. This is an organic reaction that involves a nucleophilic substitution reaction. Nucleophilic substitution reaction combined with nucleophilic substitution reaction combined with an allylic shift. So that is the important. Here, this is an organic reaction that involves a nucleophilic substitution reaction with an allylic shift. Okay, allylic shift in a glycol. Okay, so that is nothing but, so the A 2,3 unsaturated glycoside. glycoside. Okay, so let's see this. So it was discovered. Okay, so let's see the mechanism for this one. So we have to write this in this form. Okay, actually we have like this. We'll have like this. Okay, we'll have like this. For OH, 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 OH. Here in this what we are doing, so we have to eliminate this one. So thereby what will be happen here? Double bond will be formed. Next, for remaining three groups we have to do the acetylation. Means acetyl groups we have to do the acetylation. So these three groups are converted into OAC groups, acetyl groups. Okay, OAC groups. This is nothing but we have to write in this form. Okay, in this form. If it is react with Lewis acid, if it react with Lewis acid, so what it will? So this will be removed. This will be removed. Okay. So if it is removed, so what will be happen? This double bond will be shifted to this one. So thereby it forms a positive charge. So like that, here what will be happen here? So it forms means positive charge. If you shift this one, so here just for your understanding I am explaining the here. So actually we have to remove this one. It gets the positive charge. Okay, it gets the positive charge. Next, what will be happen? If you remove this group, this double bond will be shifted here. So next, at that time, so what will be happen here? This carbon gets the positive charge because this so this bond pair of electron gets shifted towards nullify this charge, and this carbon gets the positive charge. So like that it positive charge rotates towards this ring. So we have to represent this one as like this. Okay, like this means this positive charge may be at this carbon or this carbon. So that's why we have to represent like this. Okay, so actually if it is happens like this. Okay, for your understanding, so I am writing these structures. Okay. So when it is react with Lewis acid, this will be removed, and so immediately it will be shifted towards. So then here positive charge will be formed. So for that we have to write like this. Okay. So next, if it is treated with ROH. What will be happen here? Actually, this double bond means here this double bond gets shifted towards this now. So it creates the positive charge. Then this RO minus will attack this site, and it will give two types of products which are OAC, here XO and NO. This side we can write this side, here OAC, here OAC. Okay, here OAC group is there, here OAC group is there. So we will get these two types of, one is alpha and one is beta. Okay, one is alpha 1 and one is beta 1. So for this is called as Ferrier-Hanessian rearrangement. Okay, so we have to take the acetylated glucose unit. So if it is acetylated glucose unit, so what will be happen here? We have to do the, if it is treated with Lewis acid, so it will remove this one, and next this bond will get shifted towards this one, and positive charge will be present here. Okay, when it is treated with ROH, so this RO minus attacks this carbocation and forms these products. Okay, if it is if it means substitution reaction, so that's why it can attack from this side or this side, this side or this side. If it attacks this side, it will this form this product. Okay, so means that direction of nucleophile attacks will give the two types of products. Okay, two means if it attacks at this position, so this product will be formed. If attacks this position, this product will be formed. Okay, so that is the Ferrier-Hanessian rearrangement. Let's see the formation of C-glucoside. Ferrier reaction. Ferrier reaction. Ferrier reaction. Ferrier reaction is nothing but by replacing the alcohol. So this is nothing but formation of C glycosides. Okay, C glycosides is the Ferrier reaction. That's it. So how it forms? By replacing the alcohol. By replacing the alcohol with which groups? Which groups? With a silane. With a silane. Silane. Okay. C glucosides. C glycosides. C glycosides can be formed with triethylsilane. We have to use this reagent for the removing of this one. Okay, and R1 is equal to H here. So this the reaction yields. The reaction yields a 2,3 unsaturated deoxy sugar. Okay, deoxy sugar. Let's see this example. Okay, so actually you know very well, just now only I have explained how we have to write this one, OAC. Okay, so actually this one, this is the it forms this one. Okay, if it is treated with triethylsilane alkyl. Okay, so this R1, so it will remove this one. Okay, so next this R1 will attack this carbocation and form this one. Here R1 will be, means here actually this double bond will be there now here. So this double bond, the OAC is there. Again here we have OAC. Okay, so this is the simple reaction for this Ferrier reaction. Means there we have used that one. So after reacting with Lewis acid, so this structure will be formed. Okay, so this structure will be formed if it is treated with triethylsilylamine. So this R1 is a nucleophile here. R1 is nucleophile. Thus this R1 attacks this position and form this product. Okay, so this is called as Ferrier reaction. Okay, Ferrier reaction. Next one, cell to cell recognition. What is next? So this is the Ferrier reaction. Here just we have to if it treated with this triethylsilane alkane, so this R1 will get attack this carbocation and form this product. Okay, next one, cell to cell recognition. Cell to cell recognition. So what is cell to cell recognition? Okay. So cell to cell recognition is a cell ability. Okay. It is a cell ability. Let's see this one. Cell to cell recognition is a cell's ability to distinguish what is this one? To distinguish one type of neighboring cell from another. Okay. So it can distinguish whether it is the same cell or another cell. Let's see which type is there. Okay. So here how it will happen here, cell to cell recognition. How it will be happen? This cell to cell recognition, this occurs when two molecules restricted to the plasma cell, plasma membrane of different cells bind to each other, triggering a response. Means it will give a response, triggering a response for communication. Why these are combined? These two cells are combined and form for this may be communication purpose or cooperation purpose, or transport. Okay. Defense. It may be a defense and our growth. For this purpose, so this cell to cell recognition occurs. Okay, so cell to cell recognition are grouped into two categories. One is intrinsic recognition, and another one is extrinsic recognition. Okay, so what it is here? Same organism means interaction between. So this between the part of same organism associate means here, if you see here, intrinsic means in our body two cells which are come and recognize with each other within the same organism, then it is called as intrinsic recognition. If it is outer side, okay, so another organism, so means one organism cell extrinsic is the type of cell of one organism recognizes a cell from another organism. Example, another organism means if you see this our body mammalian cell, okay, if it example Example, mammalian cell, interact recognition with bacterial cell, microorganism. Okay, so this type of recognition is called as extrinsic recognition. Okay, so if outside cell will be there in our body, then it is called as extrinsic recognition. Okay, so if it is means intrinsic means in our body, so there is a interaction means cell to cell recognition occurs in our body between the same organism, then it is called as intrinsic one. Okay, so this is the cell to cell recognition. One cell in our body, one of the cell recognizes the same organism, means in our body only there is a recognition between cell to cell, then it is called as intrinsic. What is extrinsic? Extrinsic is nothing but here one organism recognizes another organism. Okay, so that example, mammalian cell to this microorganism. Okay, so this is about this cell to cell recognition. Let's see the blood groups. Okay, so here cell to cell recognition means it has to recognize which cell it is, whether it is same cell, same organism cell or different organism cell. Okay, so next one, blood groups. Actually, our body contains, here human body group depends on the functioning of glycotransferases, enzymes. Okay, so these two are catalyze the formation of glycosidic bond. Okay, glycosidic bond between the function and human blood. Bond between the function and human blood. Okay, here what it is there, how we have to means here oligosaccharides plays an important role. Oligosaccharides, so antigens, these antigens attach to the protons and lipids. Okay, so most of the oligosaccharides is called as O antigen. These are attached to this O antigen. These are called as antigens. Oligosaccharides which are called as O antigen. So this is the basic oligosaccharide. This is the base oligosaccharide. Means in every human contains O antigens. O antigens found in all three types of A, B, A and B. Okay, so means this O antigen, what it is contained, actually O antigen means what, here this is a lipid is connected to glucose, again this is connected to galactose, N-acetyl glucosamine, again it is means it is attached to galactose, again this galactose attached to fucose. Okay, so what is the O antigen? O antigen which contains lipid which is attached to glucose. This glucose again it is attached to galactose and acetyl glucosamine. Again this is attached to galactose and galactose attached to fucose. So this series is called as O antigen. So O antigen is present in so every human contains O antigen. O antigen. Let's see this one. Here blood type O has O antigen. So our blood groups are divided into 4 types. Okay. 4 types. Here actually larger antigens are there. Larger antigens, smaller antigens. If it is smaller antigens, so these are divided into A, B and O. If it is a larger antigens, RH blood group are there. Okay, RH blood groups. Okay, so let's see this one, AB and O. Okay, so these are the some types. Here, so RH receptor is also present. Based on this RH blood groups are there. RH receptors we have to, based on this RH receptors we have to categorize what is the positive, what is the negative. Okay, so here actually O, A, B, AB. Let's see this one. Okay, so this is the antigen. Here O antigen is there. Okay, in this one, okay, antigen, antibody. So there is a antibody is there and as well as antigen is there. In O, so here in O there is no antigens here, no antigen in blood group, only antibodies present. Okay, what present here? Antibodies present. Okay, only antibodies present. Okay, so next if you take A, which type of antigen is present? A antigen. Antigen A antigen. Antibody B type. This is A type antigen. Okay, so next antibody, which type antibody? B type antibody is present in the A blood group. If you take B, so which type of B type antigen is present? B type antigen is present. Here A type antibodies are present. Okay, so in this AB there is antigen and A and B antigens are there, but here no antibodies. No antibodies. Okay, so here there is no antigens for all bodies, so that's why it is called as universal donor. Universal donor. Here no antibodies, so that's why these are universal acceptors or universal recipients. Okay, this is called as universal recipients. Okay, O is said to be 1. Okay, if blood type has RH protein, means if blood type has RH protein, if RH protein is present, then it is called as positive. O positive, B positive, OB negative, like that is there. Na? If RH protein is not present, then it is called as negative. Okay, first we have to categorize into A, B, O, A, B, AB groups are there. So in that O group no antigens are there, only antibodies are present. So that's why it is a universal donor. In A type antigen is there, B type antibody is there. And what is the B type? B type antigen is there, A type antibody is there. And AB antigens are there, there is no antibodies. So that's why it accepts blood from all the groups. So that's why it is called as universal recipients. Okay. So next, if RH protein is present in our blood group, whatever the blood group, if RH protein is present, then it is called as positive. If RH protein is not present, then it is called as negative. Okay. So like that, we have to categorize these we have to classify it into blood groups into 4 types. Okay, 4 types which are these one. Okay, here AB blood group, the new antigen forms. Okay, so these are called as phenotypes. Rh blood group is there also there. So that is a large receptors, larger antigens are present here, smaller antigens are present. So that's why these are called as this one. Okay, so this is about the carbohydrates. So by this we have completed the carbohydrates chapter. Thank you. Okay.